Hey, what's going on YouTube? On this episode of How It's Designed in Solidworks, we're going to break down the design of the classic Lego man. So let's get started. Alright, so we're first going to look at this part, the chest, which is going to look something like this when we're finished with it. But let's roll back the design tree and take a look. So we're going to import a sketch picture like we always do of a image of the Lego guy so that we can get this outline here for our sketch. We can get the overall length and start to get some of the proportions down of this guy. So let's start sketching. We are going to first get this feature here from the outline of sketch 3 using these curves here. And we're going to do a mid-plane extrusion. Pretty simple. Once we have that, we can shell this extrusion here. Let's hide this for now. We're going to shell it out. Nothing too crazy yet. 2 millimeters. Selecting face 1. And we'll get this. Now we're going to add some of the interior details that has the press fit fins for when you mate your Legos together. So we're going to add these sketches on this surface here. These little tabs. Hit OK, and we're going to extrude it up to the next surface, like that. Merge the result. Now we're going to get started on the top piece, sketching on this top face here. We're going to do a simple 2 circles, and then we're gonna just extrude like that. So if we turn this sketch back on, you can see it's starting to take shape. Next, we're going to just close this opening on top by just drawing a circle on this top face and extruding it a couple millimeters down. Gonna make the interior hole, make it like a molded piece. Selecting that middle circle, or you could shell it, either way. Now we have that hollowed out. We can add the side cuts for the arm sockets. So we're just gonna sketch on that face here. cut it through that wall. So we have that socket right where this arm is on the picture. And then we're going to mirror that feature. Like so, right plane. And then we just add our fillets and we're pretty much done with the chest. Alright, now we're going to move on to the joint feature, which connects the upper torso on these little pegs to, you have these pins for the bottom legs to hook onto. So let's start from the beginning. We're going to show this sketch again. So this is what we're going to capture right here, this midsection. So once we start getting into it, we're going to draw a line for our surface plane so that we can sketch a rectangle onto that plane to get this midsection here, following the drawing. So our line that we drew is going to be right here. We're going to create this surface to then sketch that rectangle. We're going to extrude it down 5.5 millimeters. And we're gonna sketch a circle so that we can cut away material on the bottom for the leg holes. All the way through. Now we're going to use that same sketch that we used to do the cutout, and we're going to use that to add material in the center for the leg joint. So you can see the circle is about the width of the top round part of the legs here. So we sketched that on the right plane, mid plane 3.5 millimeters about, matching it with this gap here. Kind of looks like he's wearing a diaper now. All right, now we are going to do a revolve sketch for the pins using this outline here. If we do a normal view to it, we got this profile here to create the pegs for the leg mates, and we're gonna revolve it around that axis we drew, the center line here. Hit OK. Plowing ahead, let's hide this for now. Adding more little details onto that pin. And then we are going to draw our first shape for the torso to mount onto using this sketch on that top surface here. Kind of like a star-shaped post. We're going to extrude it 10 millimeters up. We're going to make it slanted so that when you press fit it into the part, it doesn't interfere with the edges. So we're going to draw just a little slice out of it and cut it out. Add some cosmetics here and there. We're going to split the part so we can do a mirror onto the other side of these two features to make it easier. So we're going to split it about the right plane, like so. Select that as the body and then mirror the features to make it easier on ourselves. So we just select split and it'll mirror that whole body about this face. And then to make it a seamless part, we're going to combine it, and that's your joint. All right, now we're going to get into the design of one of the legs. So let's start from the top. Should be a pretty quick part. So we're going to show this sketch here like we always do. We're going to take this outline here, basically just a big rectangle. We're going to make a line on this. Whoops. We're going to make a line on this inside surface here to then turn that into a sketchable surface. Mid-plane, 10 millimeters, selecting that line. Like so. So now we have a plane to then sketch this outline on. So we're going to make that surface, sketch this profile here, sketch 29. Give you a good shot of that. That's the basic outline. And then we're going to select that profile, extrude it out, following the picture. We're going to cut it back a little bit because it was a little too long. So we're going to cut this part out. Now it's lined up more. We're going to add draft to the foot, 3 degrees, select this face, this top part is the neutral plane. Hit OK. Now, going back to this extruded cut, if we look at the sketch we cut, we sketched this profile on the front so that we're cutting off excess material here, but we're also adding a little, see this little cutout corner? We're going to add that as well. Forgot to mention that. So we hit OK. That will give us that little cutout right there. And then we are going to add this sketch here. So that now we are going to extrude below the circle those two corners. Basically just select this entire surface except for the circle part out so that it's kind of a stamped in look. Now we're going to start cutting out on the bottom the hollow parts for these molded pieces. So we're going to do just a rectangle on the bottom surface, 2 millimeters inward, and we're going to extrude it, cutaway material 20 millimeters up. Hit OK. Add some more cutouts. Same with this rectangle, only we're going to do it only about up to 2 millimeters below this roof of the foot. On the back side of this face, we're going to sketch 2 circles for the little cutouts, so when you place the man onto a vehicle or something, it can clip into the little circular buttons on the Legos. So that's for the Lego pegs. And we're gonna hit OK for those 2 circles. 4 millimeters in, and moving on to the next one, we're gonna cut out this rectangle and some more. Oops. We're going to cut out the hole for the joint pin to clip into. So we're going to sketch on that outer surface a circle. And then we're going to extrude cut inward just 1 millimeter. So when we use this joint piece, it can mate into that hole there for the leg. So we have this cutout, these two hole cutouts, and this hole cutout. And then that's the basic part. We just add some fillets for cosmetics and looks, and that is about it for the leg.